Guys, hi. It's Neal Brennan. This is the block. Shut up.
Oh, no.
Stay out of it.
I thought you'd forgotten my name.
No,
I was trying to help you.
Please. I was trying to remember the name of the talk show. I remembered it. I remember the name of the CNN show. This guy is, my guest has a new series called American on Purpose on CNN.
I want to show you why I became American on purpose.
He used to host the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Ferguson.
Have you figured out who it is yet? Guys,
Please clap.
and he's a fucking really funny dude and a very instantly charismatic, charming guy. Instantly, we have a rapport, I'd say.
Oh, I think so.
I think you have a rapport pretty easily. You're pretty slutty with your rapport, if I'm honest.
I throw it around a little bit, but I'm rapport, equal opportunity rapport. I mean, I rapport with anyone who rapport back. I think rapport is a two-way street.
It is, but you have chemistry with most people. I have chemistry with a certain kind of person.
I don't know if that's true. Because I think that you are very attractive, both on the podcast, because I watch you and when you do your stand-up, you're very. You look like someone who knows what they're talking about. Maybe it's your glasses, but I don't think so. I think it's you.
But even that, people don't like people who look like they know what they're talking about.
I do.
I know. That's why I say I have rapport with certain kinds of people. If the person respects someone who looks like they know what they're talking about, then we're fast friends.
Right.
If they're most people
Don't like that.
they don't like it.
I don't have any friends, so you'll have to tell me.
I believe that.
I don't. I really don't. I keep my friends to a very, very small group of friends.
Let's just get into the podcast. Why? That's his first block.
Well, I really
Limited friend
I really
group.
like small people, so
Small
I
friend.
don't really have small friends. That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, you know,
I might cut it out.
I think
I
you
might
should.
give
I
you a
think you
lead.
should.
I'm gonna because a lot of people would have turned off.
Yeah, they would. I can't take this shit.
Oh fuck.
No, I'll wait for someone clever.
Okay, so you small friend group, a minor, no new friends. What's your feeling? I think that you are more opinionated and more irritable than you let on.
Oh, 100%. I think that's absolute. That's very astute. Yes.
I look opinionated. You look affable.
I do affable because I grew up in a very violent situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not at home. I mean, my family weren't violent to me, but the
Wait, say what do you mean to you? They were violent to neighbors, to passersby?
No. They were. I wasn't raised by a crime family.
Well, I don't know anything.
You genuinely don't know, right?
No idea.
I was raised in Scotland in the late '60s and 1970s, so
Yes.
or the '60s and '70s, really, and it was a time where I was raised was it was very jumpy. You know, there was a lot of sectarian hatred between Catholics and Protestants. And
Right.
It was kind of adjacent to the Troubles in Ireland. There was
Right.
a lot of that stuff.
Trouble's
going
one of the greatest names for conflict.
Yeah, violent.
So fucking Irish.
Yeah, gorilla. Oh, it's a wee bit of trouble. It's a wee bit of trouble there. They're killing each other. Oh, it's
It's
trouble.
trouble.
You know, there was the
Let's
story.
not make a big deal of it.
This is a true story. A friend of mine told me this who was at a funeral for an IRA soldier in Belfast. And at the end, you know, the funeral part of it is they shoot. You know, you get the salute with the
Yeah.
guns, and they fired a gun, and somebody hit a fucking pigeon, and it landed on the coffin. And the priest said, "Well, sure, the pigeon was involved." They used to say that about somebody who was in the part of the
Part
whole
of
thing.
the Troubles.
Yeah,
He was affiliated.
He was involved. He was
Oh,
involved.
that's very funny. And so you grew up around violence. You grew up in a violent time and a violent.
The threat of it and the actuality of it. And so what you do is you
So
develop
is there
an
violence
affability.
is there violence in your neighborhood, in your
Yes,
region?
in my school we had they had corporal punishment at schools when it was outlawed just after I dropped out of high school. But
Just in
corporal
time.
punishment, yeah, just in time. It was outlawed by the European Court of Human Rights. That's how far they had to take it before they got rid of it. But they used to belt us when we were very, very young. I'm 5 years old. I'm talking about being thumped by a thick leather belt that was specially made for the purpose. You had to hold out your hands, and they would just bash
This
you
is
with it.
Catholic school?
No, this is Protestant. Well, state school.
Right. Okay. But so it's a state. It's a Protestant
it's
state.
It's a Protestant school. It's a state school. It's the government school, and there was a lot of kind of. I think of it as normal, like pushing and shoving and violent with young men, but I don't think it is that normal, really. When I've talked to people who grew up outside of that, they did not grow up with violence between young men. I think of it like my oldest son, who's 25, who grew up in California. I would be like teaching him how to box and stuff, and he's like, "Dad, it's not Scotland.
This is to burn calories, so I can have a beach bod."
But I was like, "Nah, you're gonna keep your left up and all that kind of stuff." He's like, "What are you talking about? I'm going to art class." You know, I mean,
we live in Brentwood.
Yeah,
what are you talking?
It almost, it was that
Westwood.
Yeah, there you go. And it was a kind of. You develop a people-pleasing thing. I think that's right to say that affability becomes a useful tool. You know,
do you think a lot of Scots are like that as a result? Because it doesn't seem. I will say that the Scott comics I'm aware of and know are really, really affable, like really like fun, and like they can make small talk, and it's very charming, and moms like them, and you know what I mean?
Depends on what part of Scotland they're from, to be honest, because I'm from the west of Scotland, which is, I mean, my grandparents are Irish, you know, and so there's a kind of difference between the east and the west of Scotland. Weirdly enough, it's 45 miles, you know, from Glasgow to Edinburgh, but there's a world of difference. Yeah.
So is it the west is more Irish? Do you think?
think the west is more Irish.
And would you say put it on a darker? Is it a darker note?
I think they're all pretty dark. I think the whole thing is on a dark note. I think anyone who does stand up has a darkness. Anyone at all. I'm talking anyone.
I completely agree.
The most affable, lovely.
Louis Anderson was the best.
I knew Louis. There's a lot of darkness in me.
I can't stay long. I'm in between meals, so bear with me.
Okay, so you find yourself affable as a survival mechanism.
I think that that's fair enough to say. I think it was probably developed. I genuinely am not looking for trouble.
No,
you know.
But you know how to you can.
I can hang.
You can hang. You can give somebody a real good 3-4 minutes. Most people.
I think so. I think what it is that I also developed it a lot more through Peter Lassally. Do you know who Peter is?
The producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter.
That's interesting. He produced The Late Late Show. He produced
was
Letterman.
The legend of that kind of thing. He had produced Johnny Carson for 35 years.
Right.
He had done Dave. And so the weight of what I learned from Peter, just about anything, about any kind of performance or just being active politically, and by politically I mean, you know, in life and in show business. He was a real kind of Mr. Miyagi for me. I mean, he really turned me around with all that.
In what when you say that, what do you mean?
Well,
because I'm fascinated.
He was the guy who grew up me into late night, right?
He found you, so to speak?
Sort of, yeah. I'd been a guest on Craig Kilborn's show.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just been, you know, dicking around with Craig and just talking and stuff. And
what were you doing work-wise?
The Drew Carey Show.
I hereby join you in civil union. Oh, hooray! Time for the honeymoon, dear. Oh, thank you, Carey. I'm finally an American. I can't wait to get fat and buy guns.
I was the English boss on
That's
the
what
Drew
I
Carey
thought.
Show.
Okay.
So
I literally was like, I knew you were doing something. I just didn't know what it was.
Just that really, and doing some independent movies and stuff, and working as an actor and writing, and then I never thought about late night. 'Cause late night's such an odd thing to me because I never had I didn't come to it the same as anybody else. To me, it was like being a fucking realtor. You know, it was like.
Well, it's funny if you're not from America. Trevor Noah had the same reason.
Right,
like,
Trevor and I talked about this briefly as well. It was like, oh, what the, you know.
Yeah.
I never really got it. Like the deification of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's a nice job.
Well, I have some good news. It's over.
Yeah, well, apparently.
It's a couple weeks from now, if not already, it's over. The deification period.
It's funny because I get asked about it a lot. I get asked about late night. I'm like, I am uniquely unqualified to discuss late night. I never watched it before I did it. I fucking didn't watch it while I was doing it.
And how about now?
I'm not interested. So it's like I genuinely know less than just about everybody.
Yeah. So what did Peter tell you?
But Peter had an immense moral authority. It was very important. I grew up. This is a kind of convoluted way of explaining Peter to you, but it's important, and it's for me to understand.
Peter's alive now.
He is. He's very, very old.
Okay.
But Peter was a Holocaust survivor. Peter was in concentration camps when he was a young adult, really. He was in there till he was about 15. Peter was at the same high school and was at the same class as Anne Frank. And, I mean, it's like, you know, when you complain about, my childhood in Scotland was some people were emotionally unavailable, I mean, he could really take control of that for me. Plus, he had such an understanding of how to survive in difficult situations, given this difficult situation that the first one he approached. And he would say some very interesting things. First of all, about late night, he would say to me, "You're in somebody's house, don't yell at them. You know, don't shout and stop that." And then he said to me, within my first 2 weeks of doing the show, he said, "You know, you've got a creepy laugh." I went, "Really?" He went, "Yeah, you got to stop doing that." And I was like, he said, "Look, I love you, but you got to stop doing your creepy laugh. It's creepy."
Was he right? I don't.
Yeah, I think he was. I used to go like that. I don't know. I think.
Yeah.
I had to alter my creepy laugh or something. And I did. I became very aware of it. Stop laughing in a certain way on stage. And he would say interesting things about jokes. When I hear people getting into trouble for jokes they've done, and you know, and I've certainly been in that category as well, but Peter would always say, if we had a joke that we'd done on the show, someone had ad-libbed something, which was nearly every night because we kind of worked in that way, he would say, if we were going to cut a joke out, I would always kind of go, "No, we have to leave the joke in," and Pete would always say, Is it worth it? Is it that good a joke?
Yeah.
And the answer nearly always is, "Nah, it's not that good a joke."
Also, like, what's the reward for the best joke?
Yeah, it's a laugh. You know, that's it. And we got plenty of those.
And okay, now what's the reward for a mediocre joke? A laugh.
Pretty much the same thing. So it kind of, I can kind of draw a few lines down my life when things changed, and this is not in chronological order, but Peter is definitely one of them, where, you know, the world pivoted for me a little bit around this individual, and there's a lot more affability after Peter. I learned so much.
Are you glad for it?
Yes.
So it wasn't a professional adjustment. It was
It was that too.
But
yeah.
The unintended consequence was like you were changed.
Yeah, I think that's right. He would say as well, he said, the best thing you can do, and he said, when I was trying out for the show, you know, I was just like dicking around. I wasn't paying much attention to it. And he said to me, "I want you to take this seriously." I remember the first time I met him, he said, "I want you to take this seriously because if I'm right," he said, this is what he said. He said, "I have very few discernible skills, but one of them is finding people like you. And if I'm right, you're lightning in a bottle. So you must pay attention to what I say." And I was like, "Okay, crazy old man. I'll." And it sounded so unlike anything I'd ever heard in show business. You know, it wasn't
it's so cinematic.
Yeah,
it's very serious.
It was crazy. It was like being in a movie.
Yeah.
And as you say, and it's cinematic. Like being in a movie? Exactly. And so it kind of landed. And I thought, I'm going to listen to him.
How old were you?
I was 42.
Yeah, because that's you're old to be old, like, look here. It's like something you'd say to like a young phenom.
Right, exactly. I wish I'd met him when I was young, but I wouldn't have listened to him when I was young. And it was funny because I remember I was 42 at the time. I'm 64 now. So the idea of, I remember like some NBC executive at the time saying, we're not worried about Ferguson. He's too old to start a late night show. I'm like, am I? I don't know. But I was 42. I don't think that's too old to start.
And it did well, right?
The show?
Yeah.
It did okay. Yeah, it did all right.
You were on against Conan?
Yeah. We were on against Conan for like 4 or 5 years. I can't remember because of all that Conan.
Oh, and when you were
And then Jimmy came on and he was doing that. And then Jimmy moved up when Conan moved out, and Jay and all that mess. And then I think I was still there when Seth moved in as well. I mean, then they came in. I did it for 10 years.
Yeah. And did you like doing it?
I did. I liked it for a long time. And then I didn't. I liked it because it was possible for me to hide. And what I mean by that is like David Letterman owned the time slot.
Mm-hmm. Like like not physically, but like he owned the rights to the.
No, he physically owned the time slot.
I know, but you can't own time. So
No,
what?
he did own time. Dave can. Dave can own. That's why he's got
Wow,
that beard.
what a deal.
Since he got that beard, he owns time.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. No, Dave owned the time slot because of the deal that he had made.
He got to decide who would go on after him.
Right. So CBS didn't pay any attention.
He owns part of the sea as well.
Right.
Apparently.
He owns time
and the
space.
wind. He has a small piece of the wind.
and your mind. Some of our conversation, about 40% of what we were talking about, is owned by Dave.
Fine.
And he thought it up.
Have it.
But he wasn't paying any attention to me. He was doing his own show.
Yeah.
So nobody was paying any attention. When I figured that out, like CBS weren't really giving me notes.
Yeah.
And Dave wasn't giving me any notes.
Yeah.
And I thought, the only people that are watching this are people.
It's a bit of like a foreign embassy in like a peaceful country.
Kinda,
like
it was just a weird piece of no man's
Yeah.
land. And so I knew that my tenure of being able to do whatever the fuck I wanted ended when Dave left. As soon as Dave went, the wall comes down and those fuckers are coming for me.
So how long was it? 7 years or something that
I
you'd
did
been doing
10
it?
years.
But you'd been doing it. When did Dave leave? How many years?
Dave left. He left 6 months after me. See, I tried to leave after 8 years because I thought Dave's not going to do this much longer. And then they came back to me with a deal that was financially very difficult to say no to. And so I stayed for another year, and then there was another year. And I said, I really have to go. And we made a deal, and then Dave decided to go, and so it all kind of slotted in just at the
Got
right
it.
time.
So it actually once he was leaving, you knew like, oh, let me leave
There's
while the getting's
nothing
good.
here for me. I'm never going to survive once Dave's out of the way because.
Well, you would have survived, but it would have been like under somebody. It would
I
have been like
doing
a
a
lot
of things I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And whereas I had gotten a good 10-year run at that show, working with the greatest producer who'd ever worked in late night television, and nobody else giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And which was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was just a gift. It'll never happen again. And I realized it was a moment in time, which of course Dave owns. But it was just a moment, and it was over, and I had to get out before they turned it into something that I didn't want to do. And also, I was tired. 10 years.
Well, does it feel like Groundhog Day, those shows?
Yeah.
Because I'm friends with some people who have shows like that, and I'll have dinner with them, and I'll go, who's on the show tonight? And they'll be like,
oh.
I have no idea who's on the show
That happens
tonight.
all the time. I watched, that there's a documentary about Leonard Nimoy called Becoming Spock. It's a beautiful.
I never watched it.
It's beautiful. You should watch it.
Okay, I will.
It's more of a tribute kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's a gorgeous thing. It's just very, very nice. And I watched it, and after I said to my wife, God, a lovely man. I should have had him on late night. And we looked up, and he was on twice.
If only I'd met him.
Yeah, if only I'd met him. And it's so weird because, things will come up from that show. I mean, I was at the Upfronts last week in New York, and there was a lot of famous people around, and I kept having to Google them to see if they had been on the show, and so that I didn't.
And you did like hold still so you could do the Google image search?
No. I knew who they were, but I had to know if I'd met them before, so I had to Google their name and my name together and see if they had been on the late night show. And some of them hadn't.
Okay, well, this leads into what we're talking about, which is, so how do you feel about human relationships? Meaning, because I realized something about myself recently, is like, I think all these relationships should be deep and long lasting. And I've come to the conclusion, like, nope, they're not even supposed to be that. Like, work wise, I'd always want to like, let's all get bunk beds and we're going to hang out and it's going to be like, I watched the Martin Short documentary on Netflix.
I haven't seen it yet.
And it's just all home videos. And it's all the cast of SCTV and Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. They're all like jet skiing they're water skiing and then Steve Martin. And it's like really sweet. And I'm like, that's what I thought it was going to be. And it's not, it's never been that.
It was not that for them either. I mean,
well, I know. I didn't want to be that cynical.
But it's no. I mean, you've run into enough of these guys to know that.
Yeah.
It looks like that, and it is like that sometimes. I mean, what I think is interesting is, that's why the green rooms and the comedy festivals are always quite interesting, because it gets to be like that for a minute. You get to, but I didn't go on a stage on my own because I wanted to hang out with other people. You know, I went on stage on my own because I had been a drummer in bands, and I fucking hated guitar players and drummers and well, I didn't meet any drummers, but I hated guitar players and bass players and singers because you had to deal with these fuckers all the time. And then when you were working on your own, it's just you.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I don't even have a warm up. I do it myself.
Yeah.
I don't have an opener. I'd go out and do it.
And you would do more. You would do the lights and the sound.
I would do. I'm the audience some nights as well. I will be honest. It's
That's
just
cool.
me and an empty
It was
room.
inevitable, ultimately.
But you know what? You find out a lot about yourself. You find out what material works for you.
What's
Who
my
are you doing
taste
it
in
for?
comedy?
Well, as it turns out, myself. But I think that it is like that. It is collegiate sometimes, but ultimately, I think it's
I had the experience of being from a big family, so I thought like, oh, it'll be like a big family, and it's not. It's not supposed to be a family, but I just tricked myself into thinking that it would be.
Do you think sometimes this is a product of age? I used to think people were, people were out to get me sometimes in the competitive world of show business, and it was only fairly recently. I'm talking in the past 10 years or so, that I realized nobody's out to get you. They're out to forward themselves. They're not thinking about you at all.
I think there are people who momentarily will be jealous of you.
Oh, sure.
But like, it's anyone who doesn't realize that it's golf.
Yeah, you're playing against yourself.
Is like you're playing the course. It's not like I don't. If I think of a joke, it doesn't. Somebody doesn't not think of a joke.
But you know that thing Gore Vidal said? It's not enough that I succeed, it's that my friends should fail.
Yes.
There is a little bit of
There's
that.
a little bit of that, but I would argue with age, it
goes away.
It goes away because
for sure.
Because you realize like there's no correlation.
Yeah, and also the demystification of what it is one of the things I'm very grateful for, that Late Night did for me, is it demystified fame and success and to a large extent money. Look, I'm not against money. Money's great. If you've not got it, it's just the worst. But it's limited in what really it can do. And success and fame, kind of the same, I think. That it's great to have them, but that lump's still a lump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like fear, still fear. Everything's still.
So you know about my lump.
You have a lump.
No, okay.
I'm actually. I didn't want to bring it up, but
you're aware of my lump.
It's kind of obvious.
And that it is comforting, and like also like being hot, being less hot, being hot. That's
very weird, because when you get one of the most cynical things I ever heard was the best time to buy a house in Los Angeles was September, because everybody who gets their pilot picked up buys a house in August, and it gets cancelled in September, and they have to sell their house. So you get, it's horrible. But
that's how we built our real estate empire.
That's how I made my money.
And so we're jumping around, but so friendship, your wife's your friend.
Oh, I have a couple of close friends. I have a couple of friends I've had for a long time. I have a buddy of mine who I met. My buddy John, a Scottish guy, I've known him for 34 plus years, and we've been friends all that time. And I have friends from back in the day, and people I'm always happy to see, and friends who I like to see, but people who I hang out. Hey, do you want to go and hang out? I don't think I've got any of that. Do you have that?
Once you stop drinking, not drinking is a big like say goodbye to 90% of social engagements.
Well, it's different. I mean, I stopped drinking. I went to a lot more meetings than I've been going to before I'd stopped drinking. But it becomes different for sure.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Come on. Come on. You know, they should all be. I should get 2 BetterHelp ads a show. I feel like I've seen podcasts that have that. Anyway, I don't want to compare. That's what I'm using. That's what I'm talking about in my therapy. Guys, I've talked about BetterHelp forever. The fact that they keep advertising tells me that you guys are using it. And I also know people that have used it. You know when people used to be ashamed that they met on a dating app? They'd be like, we met on, and it's like, who cares? This is where we are now. People really like BetterHelp. You can check it out for yourself at betterhelp.com/reviews to see amazing customer reviews in real time. These reviews are updated every day with hundreds of people saying how much they love BetterHelp and how helpful it's been to them. Please visit BetterHelp's. Again, or you can take my word for it, or you can go on a website and read reviews. You know, they have but having said that, they do have an average live therapy session rating of 4.9 out of 5, and that's based on 1.7 million client session reviews. So that's people who've they boots on the ground, as it were, guys. BetterHelp, therapy, work on something. No one's ever worse from therapy. I promise you, it's good stuff. Your Uncle Neal wouldn't lie to you. Guys, it's the call to action. Are you ready? What are you wearing? See the reviews, see what stands out, and see if BetterHelp is right for you. Visit BetterHelp, that's BetterHelp.com/NEAL. That's BetterHelp.com/NEAL to see if BetterHelp's right for you. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. BetterHelp. Guys, hi. You know how I have a little bit of gold? There's no better way to say it. And I'm vegan, so I have to get, I guess I don't have to, but I like to keep an eye on my health because I don't want people going like, you know, you were short on iron, bro. That's why they got that head cold or whatever. So I have to play defense against the haters. You know me. And one of the ways I do it is there's like rich people concierge services, which this is the reasonable version of concierge service, and that's called Superpower. Okay, here's the deal. Superpower is a health membership that starts with one simple blood draw and gives you detailed insights into more than 100 biomarkers throughout your body. And by the way, the value doesn't end after your first test. In fact, the longer you use Superpower, the more valuable it becomes. The first test establishes your baseline, and then Superpower AI builds evidence-backed protocols informed by that blood work. Like I said, I do it, and my blood game is strong. That's all I can tell you. My iron's good, my lipids, I'm not gonna. What do you think? I don't know the categories? I know the categories. That's why you should use Superpower. 85% of members uncover early risk factors for diseases. 79% of members uncover heart disease risk, and 49% of members slow their speed of aging. I'm 87, so I think that says a lot. Our current healthcare is all about reacting to problems once they're already an issue. Superpower is here to make proactive healthcare a reality so you can actually get ahead of your health instead of waiting for something to go wrong. It's called closing the barn door after the horses have escaped. I have a lot. I'm 87, so I know a lot of old phrases. Start building, this is the call to action. Everybody shut up. Start building a smarter picture of your health with Superpower for a limited time. Our listeners get $20 off to unlock their membership. Head over to superpower.com and use code NEAL for $20 off your $199 Superpower membership. And after you sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about Superpower. Tell them Blocks with Neal Brennan sent you to support the show. And then if somebody says, why do you look so good? Be like, Blocks with Neal Brennan. That's the promo code. It doesn't end when you leave superpower.com.
I was mystified when I stopped drinking because...
When did you stop?
1992.
For what reason?
Alcoholism.
But like bottom... Peter Lassally.
No, I hadn't met Peter yet, but I felt his presence. No, I think there was a number of different things. The one that I've talked about in the past is, I woke up one Christmas morning and I was on my way to commit suicide, which felt like a very rational thing. I mean, the interesting thing when people talk about it, didn't feel, there was no dramatic music. It was like, this is what I should do. It felt like a rational thought. What I should do is destroy.
When you say on your way,
it was Christmas morning. I'd woken up in a pub. I'd meant to get home to Scotland. The pub was in London. I'd never made it. I'd embarrassed myself. It was a fucking mess. It was terrible. I hadn't got home to my family. And the normal hangover is exacerbated by the deep and profound shame of the alcoholic having a hangover. So you've got that spiritual hangover and that. And so what came into like a very clear thought in my head was I must go and kill myself. I must go and jump off Tower Bridge. That's what I must do. I was in London, and Tower Bridge is the big fancy one.
If you're going to kill yourself.
If you're going to do it right. So I'm on my way I'm about to leave the pub, and my friend Tommy, who had slept behind the bar No, I don't know if Tom.
That same night or just some other?
That night, he'd slept behind the bar. He was the barman. I don't know if he was an alcoholic, but he slept behind the bar. So he was an Irish guy, and I was on my way. I didn't want to tell him I was going to go and kill myself because I knew he'd make a fuss. So I said, I'm just going back. He said, well, before you go, have a glass of sherry for Christmas morning. And I said, all right. So he poured me a fucking venti sherry, like a pint glass with sherry. I don't drink sherry. And we both had a glass of sherry, and we toasted, and I said, baby Jesus. And he said, the infant Christ. And we drank them. And as I drank the sherry, I forgot to kill myself. I felt great. And it wasn't until years later, well, maybe not that long, maybe a couple of months later when I was in rehab, I reread the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And it's a fascinating, written by a Scotsman, of course, because it would have to be. It's a fascinating look, I think, at alcoholism, amongst other things. Because in the story, Henry Jekyll, the respectable doctor, drinks the magic potion, he goes out, he commits a murder. And then he's back in the park, and he's still sort of Mr. Hyde, and he wants to be Mr. Hyde. He's Henry Jekyll, but he kind of looks like Mr. Hyde. And he has to get into his house because he knows, and of course his servants won't let him in because he doesn't look like him, but he knows he has to get into his house because he realizes the potion that turned him into Mr. Hyde is the only thing that'll turn him into fucking Henry Jekyll again. And it is that thing, is the only thing that made me feel normal was the thing that was killing me.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking finger trap, man.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. And it's really hard to figure that out, especially when you're in the emotional and mental turmoil.
Yeah, and you don't know that.
You're not aware of it.
And you're not, and you didn't have any, hadn't read any of the literature on alcoholism. So you I'd bounced around it a little bit. I'd sniffed around. I'd figured there was something wrong. It had been noticed by others. Yeah.
But
fools. It had been noticed by fools.
Yeah, friends and family. What the fuck? Do I know? Anyway, when it occurred to, I mean, there was no cognitive kind of, oh, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what it didn't feel like any of that. The rational thought was, I must destroy myself. And then the alcohol went on top of that, and I was like, but why? We can sit here all day.
Yeah.
And so the thing that's killing you is also the thing that's keeping you alive. That's a fucking conundrum.
Yeah. And it takes a long... Okay, take the alcohol away, then you have to realize why you want to destroy yourself.
Yeah, causes and conditions, I think. I think you have to... I think... In order to, for me, look, other people, like some people get sober going to the church and they find Jesus or they find science or they find something. I don't know, people, you know. But what I'm saying is the way I did it isn't the only way to do it. But I feel like in order to get and remain sober, I had to take an inventory of myself from as far back as I could remember and look at the times where things that had brought up feelings in me, they maybe getting beaten up at school by these masochistic teachers or anything, stuff that I had no control over, but it certainly had an effect on me. But here's the one thing that I really like about this is that alcoholics of my type in recovery, or the people that I kind of hang with, they're willing to be the villain of their own story. And I think that's very important. So you look at yourself and you go, you know who was at fault there? Me. I was a dick there. I need to not be that. I need to change. And it's tempting when bad things have happened to you to say, well, it was all that. And certainly that wasn't your fault. If bad things happen to you, it's not your fault.
But at a certain point.
But there are other times then maybe a bad thing happened to you and then you did a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that is your fault. You know, the bad thing that you did is your fault. And bad, it's such a relative term, but if you... What were
your...
I was a singer and a fighter and a pub man. I like to be in the pub.
Singer? Why did you mention singer?
Well, because we sang. You sang and
like you sing at the bar, like
oh yeah.
So that's like, and what's that? A 5-6 hour night?
Oh yeah, 5-6 day night. You know, you can go at that with the right crew. You can keep that running. And also, you know, then at some point, if you're in London, one of these London media guys going to go, oh, you want to try a little bump of cocaine? And then suddenly you're like, oh, you
say a London media guy?
Oh, yeah. You know,
those are the types?
Oh, you don't.
I've only done cocaine once.
Oh, really? Where?
Yeah. In New
probably
Orleans.
in Colombia with a guy.
I don't know.
Or something.
One of my cocaine journeys. One of my spiritual cocaine journeys.
Is there such a thing? I bet you there is, actually.
I actually heard one today that I swear to God, a couple hours ago, that they did a Xanax journey. So it's actually really interesting, and I need to listen to it again. Somebody gave a bunch of people, maybe 10 people, Xanax. And they had musicians playing pleasant music, and they were all on mattresses. So they did it like an ayahuasca thing, but it was Xanax, and people had spiritual, transcendent experiences. Which is,
do you know what you used to call that where I'm from?
Go ahead.
A party.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a party.
Yes. No, but you guys didn't have that many mattresses, though. Everybody didn't get a mattress. Not in one room, Craig.
Yeah,
fuck
That's
off.
how we lived. Everybody lived in one room, and we all gathered round the potato.
So you were just, it was fun. It sounds like legitimate fun.
It was fun. There's a great old, I mean, that's the other confusing thing about it. I thought I was having a good time a lot of the time. So it's confusing. But there's it's an old Irish doggerel thing about, so we shared another night of poetry and proses, but every man knows he'll be alone when the sacred gin mill closes. And there's a weird kind of, the party can't keep going, and then you're on your own, and there's something weird about that. I don't know. I can't fucking explain alcoholism, and I've lived on both sides of active and not, and I'm as mystified by it now as I was then. But I do know one thing, which is if I don't drink it, it doesn't start.
Right.
So it's connected to the first drink. I'm convinced of.
Yeah.
The first drink is the one that does the damage. After that, someone else is driving. But if I can avoid the first drink, I can avoid any drink. It's just.
Is it a daily thought? Meaning,
no, it was for a while, but it's not now. I don't think about it that much. Every now and again, I think about
it's been 35 years, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
more of my life than sober than drinking, about twice as much. So it's what I do. But every now and again, it comes up. More with smoking though.
Interesting.
I
have smoking dreams.
I loved smoking.
I
quit
and
I would smoke
so long ago, and I'm still
me too.
Would do it.
I'd love to. It gives you cancer though, and that's why I don't.
I've said this before. Have you looked up what amount of people get cancer from smoking?
I don't want to because I would say, here I go.
You want a moment to tell you?
Yeah.
10%. 90% of people don't.
Do you know who what percentage I'd be in though?
Of course. Well, you're special.
Yeah, I'm special.
You're so special.
I'm special.
Do you guys see this fucking guy?
Yeah,
this guy is so
I'm the guy that'll get it.
As they say in the.
I just don't feel like I get away with anything. Do you know what I mean? I just don't feel like that.
The 12-step term is terminally unique,
Yeah.
but it's I'm surprised you haven't heard it.
I'm surprised you have.
But also, I have a lot of situations where I'm like, no, I shouldn't have gotten caught, or I shouldn't, and I did. Like some anomalies. Obviously were both. You're lightning in a bottle, so you get it.
I never said I was lightning in a bottle. Pete Lassally said I was lightning in a bottle.
Right, but you are lightning. Outsiders would call you lightning in a bottle. I don't think you were walking around thinking that. I thought you were lightning. I'm sure you thought you were some kind of lightning, but not in a bottle.
Hot shit is that's what I thought I was. At least I was just shit.
Yeah. So you're getting laughs at fucking Drew Carey. You were getting laughs on every line.
Yeah, every line.
Every line.
Even the lines I wasn't doing.
No setups.
Ketchup bucket? That sound British to you, boy?
So I'm with you with no, I'm going to get, I don't know if that's even a negative thing or if that's a corporal punishment. Belief.
Did you get corporal punishment?
There was a lot of hitting, and I went to Catholic school. Not so much hitting there, but there was at home. 1 to 10. And
are you a Catholic?
Yeah,
that's interesting to me.
Grew up Catholic.
You're not Catholic? And you're apostate now?
I believe in a central creation force, but not.
Yeah, me too.
Not
I
denominational.
don't have any. I'm fascinated by the idea of a God and a creative force and the universe and all of that, but I have a hard time with ritual and particularly the thing that troubles me a bit with Catholicism is all the imagery. I'm like, I can't keep up with all that. But a lot of Catholic
It's all like
theologians
Marvel
I really
Cinematic
like.
Universe. It's just like I don't, or it's Star Wars is a better analogy because
Yeah,
Star
maybe.
Wars is getting to the point like Grogu, who
What is that?
Yeah, I gave up after this.
Saint who like I mean that's the
There's some really good ones though. There's some really great saints. There are some that I like.
of course, but it's they're deep cuts.
They are deep cuts. I went to St. Francis of Assisi's at the town in Assisi.
The actual, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what I thought? Because they have his cloak and all that, and,
Yeah.
and bits and his glasses and everything. I was like, this reminds me of the Hard Rock Cafe.
I was gonna say Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like,
No,
like-
it is.
It
It's all
kinda felt like it
it's
a
all
little
like
bit.
same plexiglass.
Yeah.
They
And
they
like-
lit it. They top lit it.
Do you know what as well? Have you been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No.
Well, I have, because I know Drew Carey, and it's in Cleveland. So I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Speaking of drug ceremonies, go ahead.
And no, maybe ham ceremonies. But we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and we were walking around it, and one of the exhibits they have Buddy Holly's glasses, and I was like, wasn't he wearing them?
I have a question.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't think that can be true.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, if he has more than one pair,
yeah, but
he
this
was sponsored by Warby Parker.
This was the 50s.
Yeah, you probably had two pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. You're not supposed to think about it.
All right. Well,
But I'm with
my
you.
trouble is,
I'm
and
with you. Also, like, so they went to the crash site. I mean,
don't-
all of
didn't
it's
ask.
bad.
I didn't ask. They didn't. I've also been to the aviation museum near the crash site where they did have debris in Iowa.
That's one of those things where you go,
Well,
or is it?
I like aviation museums.
So it's an aviation museum, and the crash. It's not a museum dedicated to the crash.
No.
Okay, so they just have it like
They
off
just
to the
it
side.
was nearby.
Yeah,
it's out in
They
Iowa.
They
somewhere.
got some money. They're like, how do we expand this museum? Go to the crash site.
You're already way deeper into it than ever. I was on tour and I saw the sign.
No,
I'm like,
I was like, why are you going to museums? I'm like, because he's on the road.
Yeah.
He's
you,
on the.
you must have done.
Because he's on the road and he doesn't drink.
Yeah, well,
And
that's right. So you see a lot of aviation
Yep.
museums, and I love them. I love them.
I'll go on a
I
tour.
got into flying. I started flying because I was terrified of flying. Kurt Russell had been on the Late Night Show, and he's a big aviation guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, just like, what's masculine?
Yeah,
he does
He's
it.
pretty masculine.
Yeah.
And he said, "You're not friend of flying. You're just a control freak." I went, "Oh yeah," and he set me up with flying lessons with this guy, and I learned to fly. And it turns out I am a control freak, and I'm also afraid of flying.
So
no, I got a pilot's license. I did it. I went all the way through it.
And is it easier to fly now?
Yeah.
It's easy to be a passenger.
Yes. Yeah. I know what the problem is, and it's not what I thought it was.
What is it?
Ice is what it is. Ice and bad pilots. That's what the problem is.
So
and
it's-
that's rare.
So it's immigration. I'm kidding. So it's ice on the wings and bad piloting in the face of ice.
Most in general aviation, usually it's continued visual flight rules into instrument flight conditions. That's usually what it is, which is with the John F. Kennedy thing, where you're not qualified to fly in the conditions that you flew into, and you should have turned around and come back out.
Oh, is that what happened with him?
I think so. Yeah, he got spatial disorientation because he wasn't quite.
I knew it
familiar
was
with-
fog, but I didn't know he wasn't supposed to fly.
He wasn't qualified to fly in the conditions that he flew in.
Got it.
He hadn't had enough training.
Here, I thought it was a magic bullet. Guys,
Do you know
that's
what
his father.
do you know why I stopped doing a podcast, by the way? It's connected to...
I like that the thing I just said reminded you of why you stopped doing a podcast.
Well, I
Go
tell you
ahead.
why. Because I thought about this. It was a Kennedy thing, right? There was two reasons why I stopped doing a podcast. One of them was the look of horror and anticipation whenever I run into people I know, and I see in their faces them thinking, shit, is he going to ask me to be on this podcast? And you know what I'm talking about.
I stopped a podcast for that very reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I think about stopping this one all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
No, this is a good one. This is a good one.
No, not you. It looks good on you.
You're still got a lot of that show business on you. But the thing was, I was doing this podcast and I got tired of booking guests, so I was just doing it on my own. Right?
Yeah.
Right? I was just talking on my own and one day I was talking. I'd been watching that show about John F. Kennedy and Carolyn Bessette. You know
Oh, so this is recent.
Oh yeah. And I was watching the show, and then I was talking about it on my podcast, which is basically me talking to my phone. And I thought, I wonder if a Kennedy has ever been eaten by a shark. Because you got to figure, the way life goes for the Kennedys, there's
at least one of them.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
And I started to think about it on the show and the podcast, and then I was talking about that, then I stopped and I went away. And then I thought, I'm going to stop doing that podcast, because that idea, was a Kennedy ever eaten by a shark, is actually a piece of stand-up that's not formed. And I gave it away too early. It's not ready. And I do that a little bit. When if you do that too much, it's an idea about something. I don't know if it's about Kennedys and shit. It's something. There's some kind of joke, laugh thing in there.
Yeah.
But it's not ready yet. And I just mused about it and threw it out, and now I can't really do it. But maybe I can in a different way.
You're to quote Jerry Seinfeld, you know who's seen your act? Nobody's seen your act. You know, and to paraphrase it again, you know who's seen your podcast? Absolutely nobody's seen your podcast.
But I would also say, you know who sees what you've done? Everybody. Everybody.
You're both right.
Yeah.
Both you and Jerry Seinfeld are correct.
Especially the stuff that you go, oh God, I hope nobody sees that.
That's the one that's the one that goes viral. All right, so we have addiction. We have these are Jordan Jensen's blocks that Craig crossed out what he had.
I like Jordan, and I thought we probably have a lot of blocks in common.
Okay, magical thinking. This is a new one, because this is no one's pitched this before, and I think it's a quiet killer.
Well, I don't know if I'm correct in my definition of it, but magical thinking for me is, for example, I can't wear anything brown on my body, higher up my body than anything blue on my body, because then everything's upside down and trouble is coming.
So this is also one of Jordan's that we didn't get to on her episode, OCD.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's OCD or magical thinking, or if that's the same thing, or if I'm sure they're related.
Have any of these superstitions, or whatever, all these spells, have any of them come true?
No, not to my knowledge. But I can't say that they haven't either, because I don't risk it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, once it comes into your head, they come into your head for are they the same five, or it's just... No, I mean, that kind of shit comes and goes all the time. I like, for a while there, I got into reading a lot about church Christianity in the Egyptian desert in the 2nd and 3rd century. The desert.
I think we've all been there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you know...
Did you talk about that on your podcast?
Yeah, there's a bit of stand-up for you. Origin of Alexandria, Evagrius of Pontus, Augustine of Hippo, really, and of course...
Would that be St. Augustine?
St. Augustine, yeah. And
he became St. Augustine, right?
Of Florida. And St. Anthony, I mean, you must know St. Anthony, right? Who went and lived in the haunted fort and then moved to the cave, because too many people were coming to the fort, lived in a cave for 30 years. All of that became fascinating to me, and I became fascinated to the
and it's true.
These people are
they're real people. I mean, as far as we can tell.
Sure, Origin of Alexandria was actually a very interesting guy, because he was excommunicated after he died, like years after he died. He was on the way to sainthood, and then he got excommunicated because he was one of the guys that said you cannot see an image of God. There can be no image of God. That's not a thing that can be. And of course,
they're like, we have all this merch.
We got all this merch. You can't sell merch if it's all wrong. So
shut the fuck up. Yeah.
So he got into trouble, but he was dead. So maybe that was a big deal. Maybe it wasn't. Who's to say? But I get into all that, and there was a thing about apatheia, I think it's called in Greek. It's the idea of constant prayer for, and for a while there I was trying. There's this I can't remember who it is. The prayer is, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me, a sinner. That's you just repeat that and repeat it and repeat it. And for a while there, I'm not even a Catholic. It was like in my head, I was like, I would say it all the time, and I got fixated on it, but it's gone.
And you don't know why it left. You know why it came because you read it.
I know why it came because I wasn't getting enough sleep. That's probably what it was. But I'm interested in other people's struggle to define their existence. Whether they lived in Egypt in the 2nd century, or have you ever read Soren Kierkegaard? Fabulous.
Readable. My issue with guys like that are just like, look, man, I'm interested.
No, he's not Schopenhauer.
Don't be German.
No. He's Danish.
Okay.
Danish Christian existentialist. Very, very tough on atheists, which is I enjoy. And then he does this he's got a book called, or I don't know if it's a book. I think it's a book, Fear and Loathing.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells the story of Isaac. Abraham and Isaac, like 5 different times, from 5 different points. He tells the story from Abraham's point of view, from Isaac's point of view, from Isaac's mother's point of view. And he looks at it and looks at it and looks at it and goes around it and compares, Isaac carrying the wood up the mountain for Abraham to Christ carrying the cross, and marries them together. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
And it is fascinating. And it's so deep.
It sounds like it could be a bit, like a good comedy bit.
Yeah, it's not that funny. I will be honest with you, he's not that funny. Kierkegaard's not funny.
Premise-wise, could be you can make I've heard people try, at least do bits or try bits about that.
It feels like maybe, like an old Mel Brooks movie or something like that.
No, but just like Kill Me Your Son and whatever. You can get there, but... Or Rashomon, or that's what I have always admired about you, is that this guy likes, I think introspection is a bit of a genre.
Yeah.
And this guy likes introspection.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. People like when some of my specials are that, and that's the thing people go, oh, this guy does introspection.
Yeah.
And that's what, do you think you were always like that? Do you think, you're in these kind of violent situations, or sobriety?
I think sobriety is connected to it because you start questioning everything.
What did you find getting sober? What did you find? Because you said it was conditions or whatever, causing conditions. I don't remember.
Causes and conditions of how you get there. What did I find? I guess fear. I think there was a lot of fear. And
minute to minute, were experiencing a lot of fear.
As a young person, yeah, and I think as a child I experienced it a lot, and it felt like it was part of me. It felt like it was.
But do you realize it, or when you look back, you're like, oh, I was afraid the whole time?
Well, that's a hard thing, because a lot of the times when I think fear. You try. I don't know if you do this, but I think I do this. I dress it up as like anger or something like that, or maybe I'm just hungry.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It comes in so many different forms and so many different shapes and sizes and moods. I'm not sure that people will say things like that. When did you know you'd made it in show business?
Mm-hmm.
And you go, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
You don't make it in show business. When did you know you'd conquered your fear of A, B, or C? That's not possible.
Yeah.
To my mind, I mean, maybe it is for some people, but the way my mind works is, it's ready.
It's all conditional.
It's all, yeah. It'll come back. It's like an appetite, or it's like you can have all of it back.
Yep.
And I think that there's choices that you make along the way to try and cope. And
besides drinking, how would you cope with fear? Do you think? I mean, you said anger or hungry.
Yeah, I don't know if anger actually does any good. I think that with fear, control seems to, or at least the illusion of control seems to help. So the idea of, so I probably am a control freak. The illusion of control.
Kurt Russell was right.
Kurt Russell was right. He's always right. He's
Don't you
Snake
get
Plissken.
it? Don't you get it?
Yeah, of course he's right. You know, it was funny when he did that movie when he played Santa.
Santa Claus?
Live and in person. One night only.
On Netflix, I was like, man, they must have given him a lot of money to play Santa. They're like, hey, Kurt, you want to play Santa? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It's $1 trillion.
Yeah, okay.
Ho, ho, ho.
Exactly. Guys, you know, I've been in New York a lot recently, and like the last year, and I've been ordering a lot of, you know, you can get greasy vegan food. You don't think you can, but you can. You can be vegan and still be gross about it. But which is why when our sponsor today, CookUnity, came back, I was all too happy to like get on board. I was using them when they weren't a sponsor. That's how thirsty and sad I am. That I'm like, no, I just like you guys. Whatever, we can work out an arrangement. They came back, so I guess I manifested it. You got meals from Michelin-starred chefs, James Beard winners, Food Network stars. All right, so basically they have a bunch of, you can go by protein, you can go by gluten-free, you can go by, I only want chicken, I only want steak, I only want fish, I only want pork, I only want a glaze. It's like the key, it's really optimized, a good, really good website. And then certain chefs will specialize in like, in Mexican or Italian or Scandinavian or Ethiopian or Japanese or Chinese or whatever, and you order specific things from them. It comes in a real, Will, show them the video, comes in a real nice slider, paper thing, so it's not plastic, you're not eating microplastics. They had a tofu curry, they had a chickpea curry, they had really good pasta that was vegan. They had just like really good stuff for me, and that was only like, I was using about 10% of the menu, and it always tasted good. And by the way, the vegetables were not sad. You know, and most ordered vegetables are sad. These are happy vegetables. Taste what happens, this is the call to action. Taste what happens when real award-winning chefs make fresh, small batch meals just for you. Go to CookUnity.com/NEAL or enter code NEAL before checkout to get 50% off, 50% off your first order. That's 50% off your first order by using code NEAL or going to CookUnity.com/NEAL. All right, so week one, you're robbing the bank, right? Week two, you're still going to be robbing the bank because it's never expensive and it's always good. Trust me. And by the way, it's not just dinner. It's breakfast, lunch, it's everything. Snacks. CookUnity.com/Neal. 50% off. Bye. Playboy, how's your summer wardrobe game? Mine's pretty good. Thanks for asking. Part of the reason it's good is because I know what to wear. I've worked out my looks. I've worked out my fabrics. And if you ever worn linen in the summer, you know it just hits different. It's light, breathable. It actually keeps you cool instead of making you feel like you're trapped in your clothes. Our next sponsor makes linen clothes guys dream about. So, right, you know what I mean? I still have the same dream about comedy, but whatever. I'm talking about Bonobos. Bonobos makes it easy to just throw something on and still look sharp. Guys, I'm wearing it right now. I'm not wearing a Bonobos top. This baby's custom made from Thailand. Don't ask. This podcast is sponsored by Bonobos. You know, Bonobos is one of those brands where you put something on and immediately notice the difference. Their clothing always feels great, and their pieces are built to move more seamlessly between casual and elevated moments without needing to change an outfit. Earlier today, I went to the gym, and now I'm doing podcast ad reads. So right there, talk about versatility. Look at the versatility. Bonobos has a lot of big sales running throughout the summer, so you can get great clothes at a great price. Their pockets are long. All right, I'm going to stand up and show it to you right now. We're going to show it to you right now. Whoa, I pity the audio listeners. I hope this, ooh, bang, bang, button on the back. Deep pockets, what did I say? I can hide I can go in there, my watch is gone. Whoa, that's a deep pocket. I don't know what the I don't know any of the measure. I don't know what kind this is. I don't know anything, but these are my bonobos, baby. You like that? Oh, you like that? I bet you do like that. All right, here's the call to action. Put on bonobos, feel good, and get on with your day. Right now, head to bonobos, bonobos.com/NEAL and use code NEAL for 25% off your order. Once again, that's bonobos.com/Neal for 25% off. And make sure you use my promo code NEAL so they know I sent you. Bonobos. You got this. They're good. They're legitimately good. 25% off. Come on.
I don't know. I don't know how it changes. Fear changes. I change, and I change from day to day. And you get older and stuff as well.
I think the thing I like about people that are sober is that they accept the complication of being a person.
Yeah.
And you just okay, you just accept, you're just like, okay, this is what it is. What am I going to do now?
Yeah, I think that's right. And what can I do? If I can do anything, I'll do it. If I can't, then that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to not do anything. Don't just do something, sit there. You know what I mean? It's like you sometimes there's nothing you can do. And that's all you can do. And I guess that's a big lesson. But it's funny. Every time I have a conversation like this, which isn't that often, but every time you have a conversation where you talk about big things and
what's funny is my algorithm is attuned to it, so I think I get all of them.
Right.
When you have these conversations, I'm like, oh, so I think that's all you're doing? I don't know you're talking about John F.
It's
Kennedy.
like when your dog thinks when you go out, you go to the dog park. You're not going to the dog park, but
you fucking idiot.
You go to the dog park. Why don't you take me? I'm a dog. But it's when I think about these things, it's almost a little bit like the weather. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to be on any given day. I mean, you can make a prediction. If I do this, then it'll be like that, but not always.
Yeah.
And try to be happy. I think it's okay to try to be happy. I'm not happy all the time. I think people who are happy all the time are terrifying. I don't know how that can be a thing. That's like clowns. That's a worry.
Yeah.
Life is moods. You know what I mean? It's moods. It's moods. It's different things.
And how are you as a dad?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy.
Well, what do you think? Do you think you
try
did
my
good?
best. I hope I'm a good dad. Are you a dad?
Getting there.
What the
It's
hell does that
complicated.
mean?
It's complicated.
Okay. Oh, so you can ask me the deepest
Yeah,
questions, and
you're
I'll
a guest.
ask you, are you a dad? You're
I
like,
paid for the studio time, so I asked the questions.
Yeah,
here.
no, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm
not chipping in then.
Is $7,000 an hour too much?
No, not for me, buddy.
So yeah, like how about husband? How about did you meet your wife after you got sober?
Oh yeah.
Are you?
I actually got married and divorced sober.
Oh.
And then I got married again sober.
Great. So you raw
I've been
dogged
sober
it
for a long
twice.
time. Most of my life has been sober. So I mean, it's how am I as a husband? I hope I'm a good one. I try to be. A father. It's really I like being a father.
To how many?
Two boys, and I
25
like
and
25 and 15.
Great.
Scottish people every 10 years, like the big orchids in the jungle. They just poof, and then everybody gets pregnant.
Great.
If I go off now, then you'll be a father.
Great.
And a mother.
I don't even know what's happening.
Neither do I.
And are you better from the 25 to the 15-year-old, or is it you just with kids you just have to like it? It's another thing where it's
a case by
it's
case
a horse
basis,
that you're just riding.
Yeah, no, it's they're them. They're their people. I'm not under any illusion that they belong to me.
How much guiding can you do? Do you feel like it's like supervising because I wonder about that. I wonder in terms of child rearing.
It's on your mind. It really is coming up for you.
Well, no, I was thinking about it today. I just think about how much I've had friends say my kid came out fully formed. Like that kid is the 23-year-old you see today.
Yeah,
he was like that from the daughter is from the minute I saw them. Yeah. And is it? Can you affect it? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Because
mean,
it's a
nature
modern
or nurture. I don't know.
Yeah, modern parenting really seems to think they can affect it.
A lot of modern thought isn't that modern and isn't that great. But most of it isn't that modern. That's the most of all of it. I become
when you say not modern, what do you mean?
Well,
it's based on an old idea.
Everything's an old idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's like pretty much from
pop psychology is at this level's pretty new though.
I think it's new in the way that McDonald's and Burger King are new, but food has been around for a long time. It's just a different way of getting it, and some of it ain't that good, but you know, still quite tasty in places. What
about like a guy of hitting kids? That seems to be like that was accepted. That was the thing.
That was out of fucking line. Yeah, that's terrible.
So the idea of not hitting them is clearly. I don't think that's an old thought.
No, that's pretty new. You're right. Because I think I grew up when it was still okay to hit kids. But, it's not okay with me. I don't and wouldn't hit my kids. Actually, the older one, both of them now knocked me in my ass.
Yeah, and so you're almost like a supervisor. How did you see it? Do you see it as like you can really mold these kids? Did you have the Peter Lassally moments with them? Because like, hey, look.
Actually, no, I don't.
Listen here, I see.
I don't think that's what parenting is. For me, anyway, my take on it was keep you safe and keep you fed and keep you clean and keep you from being scared. And
moral guidance?
Moral guidance, yeah, I guess. This is what I think, you know, but other people have different ideas. I mean, yeah, moral guidance, of course. Don't do that. Stop it. You know, don't poop on the floor.
For instance.
That's daddy's thing. But I mean, it's too big a thing. I mean, it's not like, I don't think there's a one thing you can say about it. It's like, so what about music? You know, it's enormous.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects on it. It's overwhelming. It's different. I think the one thing I do remember about it, and I still think this is true, that when I became a parent, I don't know if this is the same way for everybody, because I'm not everybody, I'm me. But when I became a parent, I feel like I went from being the star in the movie of my life to a supporting artist in the movie of someone else's life.
Yeah.
And there was one day I was standing, this is quite a long time ago, I was standing outside Gelson's in LA. And I was with my oldest son, who was about 15 at the time. And this young woman walked by and she looked at him, and I saw them looking at each other, and then they went away. There was nothing in it, just two young people looking at each other, and then she went away. And I realized that she hadn't seen a guy with his son. She had seen a guy with his dad. He was the guy, and I was the supporting player.
Yeah. And how'd you feel about it?
Okay. All right. It's okay. I've done a lot of supporting roles. I'm okay.
You were fifth lead on Drew Carey.
Not even sixth. I'll have you know.
But you notice that he knows what number he was.
you know the person that far down the call sheet knows that if you're number 6 in the call sheet, you know you're number 6.
You feel it every minute of every day.
And this was the 90s. They let you were number 6 in the call sheet.
In terms of pay, everything was locked in. You knew what you were going to make the minute you got the pilot. Mm-hmm. You don't hold out. And did you? Okay, so yeah, because a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like being. Some people say I liked that it wasn't about me anymore, and then I've also heard people say I don't want to have kids because I want it to be about me.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
You're allowed to not have kids too. I mean, I'm not one of these people who say, "Oh, you got to have kids." You don't have to. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, it happens the way it happens.
And what's most of your time spent on? And I don't even mean like, what are you doing? But what are you feeling and thinking? It's the broadest possible question I could ask, and I thought as a talk show host, you would appreciate it.
Yeah. I never thought of myself as a talk show
No,
host.
I know.
But what's interesting
and what's funny is the more you go on, the less I'm like, he was not. I didn't realize how funny you were
because you never made me laugh.
No, then I would see shit and I'd be like, this fucking guy's quick. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think you'd be that quick because of that job. Everyone who does it's pretty quick, but you're very quick, I would say. So
yeah, I am.
So anyway, so what do you spend most of your?
I'm going to answer this in a rather oblique way, but I think it does answer it, which is if I couldn't do anything but write, I'd be fine. So I think I have to, for some reason, for whatever reason, whatever impulse I have, I need to tell stories. When I was drunk, I told stories. When I got sober, I told stories. How I stay sober is to tell stories and hear stories. You know, the idea of you know, I'm Irish and Scottish. I you know, my people tell stories.
Yeah.
We make shit up. You know, and it's poetry usually, and songs, and so I feel like that's where I live in most comfort, is in either the creation or the absorption of fictional or partly fictional worlds. And the truth is, the older I get, I think a lot of this shit is fictional anyway. And so I think that's where I live, I think, most of the time.
Well, that's the other thing is you have more depth than a talk show host. Generally. I mean, again, not like Colbert and these guys are shallow, but like you know, maybe it's the algorithm feeding me. But like and again, I don't. Also, it's just it's a sixth of your life. So like, but it's just how for other people, it's 80% of your output. So
I understand. I understand that it makes sense, and I'm
but
happy.
I like the deep part. That's the part I like. So that's what I'm curious about.
I think that the trouble sometimes, I think, if you do a job that becomes very identifiable. It's that old joke, you know, you fuck one sheep and you're the sheep folk.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's that you host one talk show and you're the sheep. It's like you do a thing and everybody likes that thing or wants that thing, and I like that thing and wanted that thing and I'm proud of that thing, and I'm in no way dismissive of it at all, but there's other things, you know, and I really, there were times doing the talk show. You know, I had this skeleton sidekick, you know, and...
Careful, Icarus.
Somebody asked me one night about, why do you have this skeleton? It was someone, a show business ha-ha question about, what's with the skeleton? And I said,
I think I've seen
it's the mocking presence of death, reminding me that this is transient. It is my triumph. I am Caesar. This is my slave. And I could see them like...
We'll be right back.
Yeah. They cut to the commercial break. That's how bad it was. I think, but the people that connected with me on that show, and still connect on that show, because it still runs all over the place online and stuff. The people that connected with me on that show, they know that show, I used to say this over and over again in the show, this is not a late night talk show. I'm not a late night talk show host. And there's very few guests that actually picked up on it. But there was one, I remember, and we don't see eye to eye on everything, but it was remarkable. It's about halfway through the interview, and we're just dicking around, comedy. And it was Ricky Gervais. And he said, hang on a minute. This isn't a fucking talk show at all, is it?
Yeah.
I went, no, it's not. Congratulations on it. And he got it because he works in improvisation and he works in it. It's not. It was like, come and improvise and let's see what fucking happens.
Yeah.
That's what that show was.
Yep.
So was it a talk show? I guess. People talked.
Yeah.
But was it that? No, because I'm not that.
I'm talking about I'm interested in the party that wants that the spiritual part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even what you are. What your essence is.
Yeah. What do you think it is? Because I don't know. You talk about me for a while. Don't be flippant. That's defensive.
It feels like somebody. There's something. I feel like there's something about time with you, and there is something about death and about connection and fucking around.
Yeah.
And there is like a little sadness to it.
Definitely.
And
time's a good one. Time is, you know what? Time. You're right about time. Here's an interesting. You ever read any C.S. Lewis?
I haven't because it's like it feels too Christian and too. But I'm sure
it
it's
definitely
great.
is. He's a Christian
Yeah.
apologist. If you don't like him, go. You can go deeper. G.K. Chesterton.
Okay.
Who is like kind of his origin story, if you like, for C.S. Lewis. He's pretty good on this, but C.S. Lewis does an interesting thing talking about, because I think G.K. Chesterton as well was like this. H.G. Wells was a big atheist, socialist.
You
and
have
stuff.
to say someone with a full first name.
Herbert George
Great,
Wells.
thank you.
Right.
Go on.
Herbert George Wells was I think it's Herbert. I don't know, it could be Harry Goomba. I don't know. Harry Goomba Wells. It's a different H.G. Like, hey, how you doing?
fucking,
Hey,
I
how
wrote
you
a fucking
doing?
book.
It's me, H.G. Wells. But H.G. Wells and G.K. Chesterton were friends.
Yep.
And they used to have arguments about Christianity, and one's an atheist and one's a big Christian apologist and stuff like that. But one of the arguments I heard, which I loved, was the idea about time. Is the idea that evolution is somehow, the theory of evolution is somehow negates the idea of there being a God. And I'm like, it doesn't even touch it. I don't know why anybody thinks that.
Yeah.
The idea that if it takes 50 million years for something to happen, in the terms of the universe, it's a second. It's nothing.
Yep.
And so the idea of we measure time by our lifespans, or the lifespans of our civilizations or our families, and that's like we measure, we count up to 10 because we got 10, it's not really a thing.
No, it's the right amount of.
It's the right amount
measure.
of things. Yeah. And I think there are so many ways to look at the world that are interesting, and many of them encouraging. Because I spent a lot of time, but I think when you're drinking the way I drank, you spend a lot of time in despair. You're in this trap, you can't get out. The thing that's keeping me alive is also killing me.
There's something psychedelic about. You're like living in this anomaly or this some liminal space.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I found, weirdly enough, I took acid a few times, maybe like 15 to 30 times. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't care for it at all. I did not enjoy it once, and it's kind of interesting but I didn't take it the right way. I if there is a right way to take it, I certainly didn't do it by a river. You didn't
do it with the mattresses.
No, I did it after 10 pints of Guinness in the Griffin, which is a pub in Glasgow, which it's a completely different experience. But the idea of it's weird enough. That's the way I feel about it.
Life.
It's weird enough. It's like I'm bamboozled by it, and sometimes it's too much. Like when I was talking to you about Kierkegaard, the Fear and Loathing book, I've read halfway through that book. The reason I brought it up is because I'm in it right now, but I can't take it too much. I have to put it down and leave it alone for a while. I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. Give me a...
Yeah.
I need Ken Follett or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
need
something else, man. Like a bodice ripper or something. I can't do all this. It gets too big.
Yeah.
And acid felt like that for me. It's like, oh, too much.
But I think that's one of the things I like about you is that you are like openly, not even struggling, just openly like aware of scope. The scope of just like all of these things.
I know that, that thing when you, and I've noticed that a lot with comedy has this, it happened quite a few times when I was doing the old late night show. It happens a lot when you're messing around with other comedians, that you guys hit something and you don't know why it's funny, but it's so, you're like weeping with laughter over, and I mean, I don't even think it's just comedians. I think everyone gets that. But that is magic.
Yeah.
Or like when you're on stage and you hit something.
Yep.
And I don't know where it's come from. And it's and I remember when Stephen King was on the late night show once, I was talking to him, I said, have you ever studied the Jungian theory of the collective unconscious? And he said, no, I never heard of that. I was like, what?
Did you ever, you know, the Red Book? Do you ever got a copy of the Red Book that the thing Jung wrote, this masterwork of drawings and runic writing? And did you ever?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really? Oh.
And he said, no, but I remember when he was writing The Shining when he was getting sober. And he said, all these ideas were around in my head, and all these ideas. And I was like, and that's when I asked him about the collective unconscious. And he said, no, I never thought that.
Yeah. No,
like,
yeah, he is it.
I think so, right? I mean,
Stephen King, say nothing of his writing. When we were doing, Chappelle Show had not aired. And we were doing a segment called Ask a Black Dude, where Dave just went on the street and said, are there any questions you'd like to ask a black person, right? Stephen King walks out of a restaurant, and we're like, what? And Dave, and he like agrees to do it. I guess he'd seen Dave stand up. Mm-hmm. And his question was,
Black people want to go to black dentists, and do black people want to get buried by black undertakers?
and the minute I heard that, I was like, this guy is so fucking intelligent and curious. And like the scope of that question in a split second, maybe he'd thought about it before, but that's to me is like one of the most impressive. It like speaks to the voluminousness of his mind.
It's amazing. I saw him in a documentary once. He was talking about some story. He said about his neighbors and stuff like that. And he said, my neighbor is a doctor, and he thinks I'm a little strange because we were talking one day, and I said, doctor, how much of a person could a single person eat of themselves before they died? He said, what? He said, well, I had an idea for a story that it was a man trapped on a desert island and there was running water but no source of food, and eventually he starts to eat himself. I don't know if he ever wrote the story. I haven't read it. But, he starts with a toe and then a foot and all that, and he eats himself. I was like, I don't know how you walk around with that in your head, but he seems quite
he's a real regular guy.
I've got a couple of friends like that who write dark stuff.
Yeah.
And are very upbeat. There's a Scottish crime writer called Denise Mina. She's a brilliant writer. She's a friend of mine. And she writes terribly dark crime noir novels. She writes a lot of different stuff, but dark crime novels, murders and horrible things. And she's the most upbeat, lovely cup of tea woman you've ever met in your life.
Separate. It's just office hours.
The darkest people I've ever met, people that write romantic comedies.
Like Hollywood rom-coms are the dark in what way?
I don't want to give names.
No, I got you.
But I'm like people who are like, man, you are. That's hard. Dark in the sense of unhappy. Yeah.
Because they're caught up in trying to get romantic comedies made.
Yeah, which is it was a thing in the 90s.
Yeah, but
everybody had to make them. I think it's more healthy now. People make horror movies. I think it's better.
They're cheaper. They're actually more believable than
romantic
than
comedies
rom-coms.
in many ways. Yeah. What they should do is a horror movie where someone meets a killer clown at the top of the Empire State Building. I said it first. My idea. You paid for the studio. Okay, we'll split it. Oh, you're letting me have it? Fuck you. I haven't finished it yet. Wait till you see the treatment.
Sight unseen. I'm just signing this baby over to you.
I'm telling you.
God bless.
They meet a crazy killer clown on top of the Empire State Building.
Craig Ferguson is who we thought he was.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
He's a charming guy who can get he can go to the depths. He's got a scuba suit. He can get deep, but he'll get up, do a funny thing with the water when he surfaces. Right? That's about
I think fart jokes and philosophy.
Yeah. Craig Ferguson. I'm thank you for doing it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I've wanted to do this for some time. I actually in show business when they say I'm a fan of yours. Well, I am a fan of yours.
Thank you.
But in the sense of I'm a fan, like I don't have pictures of you up in my house or anything like that. I don't.
Well, then what are you?
Fan isn't like that guy. Yeah, good.
Well, I mean that's about all we go for.
Yeah, I'm like that guy's great. Yeah, what's he saying now?
Like respect, but yeah. This is a separate thing. Do you have pictures of your accomplishments up in your house?
No, man.
Isn't that a thing about that? I'm just starting to realize like. Someone in Showbiz did this.
Yeah.
And then everybody else was like, I guess we're supposed to do this. It's like, no man, you don't have, well, in my office, no.
No. We moved house recently, and I got some Emmys and a Peabody Award in the cabinet in the guest bathroom, but in the cabinet so that people can't see it.
Yeah.
Unless they open it.
Well, now
you thought you were going to get drugs. What you got were my Emmys. Fuck you.
The alarm goes off. Craig Ferguson, thank you, buddy.